on, eh? So, only my voice is being recorded. Right? Only my voice, eh? Then I will pass the host to Mustalah Biha. Tamam. I mean, I'll pass the terjemah. Naam, terjemah. Afwan, so late because Ustazah Hawa Salma Al-Kaf, she just resumed her classes on Al-Ba'alwi. So, mashallah. Okay, pass me the host. Pass me the host. Mm, pass me the host. Okay, tamam. Let me just do the interpretation, okay? Okay, tamam. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Start. Okay. Okay, tamam. Siapa yang mahu lugha Melayu, uh, Melayu, sila bukakan interpretation. Okay. What is lugha in Malay? Bahasa, bahasa Melayu. Siapa yang mahu bahasa Melayu, sila buka interpretation. Okay, bismillah. Saya nak berdak, tamam. Bismillah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين على كل أمور الدنيا والدين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ونور قلوبنا وقرة أعيننا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. نوعنا تعلم وتعليم وتذكر وتذكير والنفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم ودعاء إلى الهدى ودلالة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله ومرضاته وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى مع لطف وعافية برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم إنا نسألك علم لدني ومشرب صافي اللاني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك علم لدني ومشرب صافي الهاني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك علم لدني ومشرب صافي الهاني يا وهاب يا غني. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين 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 يا رب العالمين. الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله. First and foremost, I would like to apologize to everyone for coming late. It is because today is Monday, and Monday there is no Rauha in Darul Mustafa. There is the Rauha for Daura, yes, there is Rauha for the Daura. But Monday is the class with Habba Salma Al-Kaf. And Habba Salma Al-Kaf, her father is Habib Umar Al-Kaf, and he is in the Sab. And the Sab, that means he is somebody, his specialty, right? His specialty is in lineage, right? Is in lineage. So every Monday she actually goes through the books of her father. Mashallah, it's really mashallah. Like the book she goes through is Fara'id al-Jawhariyah, في ترجمة في ترجمة أشرافي العلوية. Right, so it's really mashallah the class. So I really cannot miss this class. Like it's my macam like it's one of those classes that macam cannot miss. I cannot miss it in the week. Right. So mashallah. So just finished the class. So I'm late. So I apologize for that first. Okay. Secondly, inshallah, we're going to go into the profile of Habib Bakr Adani bin Ali al-Mashhur. Right. So we're going to go through his profile, inshallah, today. All right. And also, if we have time, we can go into the Mabadi al-Ilm Ashara and لكل فن عشرة. And we're going to go to the mabadi of this ilmu, right, of this ilmu of tahawulat. Mabadi, as we explained, right, refers to the that you said it's not really foundations, right, but you say the how do you say mabadi? I mean, okay, like you can say foundations, but you can say the starting points of a knowledge from which you can encompass what is this knowledge. You can understand what is this knowledge, right, that we are speaking about. Okay, so the first thing first, we're going to go into the life of Habib al-Adani bin Ali Mashhur. And he is, bila shak, without any doubt, he is a mujaddid of our time. Right? He is a mujaddid of our time. What is a mujaddid? Okay, the word mujaddid, right, came from a hadith. And Habib Bakr Adani actually quotes this hadith a lot in his fiqh tahawulat. This hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that, and if you ra'si kulli qarn, right, that at the beginning of, in the hadith, he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send, that's how the hadith goes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send um, uh, 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 a person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send from my ummah, someone who will renew this religion at the beginning of every Quran, of every 100 years. So there is a hadith that speaks about the mujaddidun, about those who, mujaddid meaning those who renew this religion. So the hadith goes, Inna Allah yab'athu li hadhihi al-ummah man yujaddid laha dinaha ala ra'si kulli mi'ati sanah. Right? So the hadith goes, you can find Da'wah Tamah, Imam al-Haddad, right? So the hadith goes that indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send or will raise for this ummah, the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, man yujaddid laha dinaha, like the one, someone who will renew. Renew means not that it becomes brand new lah, but renew means refresh. Refresh, that means bring it back to the original. Bring the religion back to what is original from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ala ra'si kulli mi'ati sana. At the beginning of every 100 years, of this ummah, right? So what do you mean by refresh? Why must this religion be refreshed? Why must there be a tajdeed of this religion? Because human beings are weak. Human beings forget. Human beings change things. The religion gets watered down, or the religion gets changed, gets diluted, the religion gets corrupted as the zaman goes by, further and further away from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Another hadith, Rasulullah said that the best of people, or the best qarn, huwa qarni, the best generation, or the best 100 years is his generation, and then the one after that, and then the one after that, and then the one after that, which means that as we move away from the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the ummah gets weaker and weaker. And the iman gets weaker and weaker. There's more fasad, there's more corruption, more and more. The further we move away from the zaman, or the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, meaning we're moving towards the end of time, and we're moving towards akhir zaman. But al-bushra, al-bushra, there's good news. For every generation, there will be people who are like the Sahaba. They are like the Sahaba. They are like the people who are of the first generation. In every generation, there are those who are like them. They are like the Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And these people, they are the mujaddidun, because they are on the asl. They are on the original religion, that was taught by who? By Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is important, because it's a fact. It's hada nubuwah, and this is khabar. This is from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? It is prophecy from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is fact from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There will be people till the end of time, till akhir zaman. There will be people who will take this religion, bring it back to what is original from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And just if you in Da'wah Tamah, you will find that if they identify the first Quran, the first 100 years is Umar bin Abdul Aziz. Then the second one, they say is Imam al-Shafi'i, Imam Muhammad bin Idris al-Shafi'i al-Muttalibi. And then the third Quran, the third 300 years, right? There is khilaf. Some say it was Ibn Suraj al-Shafi'i, and the other ones, and others say is Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari. Right? These are all the great scholars about Ummah, and each of them, right? And especially in the beginning, They are, like for example, Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari. He is the wadi', right? Or you say not the founder, but the compiler of what knowledge? Aqidah. Now, he is the one who wrote down the aqidah of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. And Jazallahu anna khair al-jaza. I may Allah reward him greatly on our behalf, because when he wrote down this ilm, this is knowledge of aqidah, of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, it blocked the fasad, it blocked the corruption of the Mu'tazila, of people who want to hijack this religion and bring it away from what the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba were on, to bring it away from them. Fahimtum? Right? Subhanallah. So these people who compile knowledges and they write down what is correct from Rasulullah ﷺ, and they preserve it, they give like there is like anwar. Right, there is this tanweer, like in the ummah, right, and it brings us back to what Nabi Muhammad ﷺ taught us. Okay, Imam Shafi'i together with the Imam, together with Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, Imam Malik, right, the four of them, mainly the four of them. What did they do? They protected the Sharia. They protected the Sharia of Islam, because people were doing whatever they wanted to do, and they were interpreting the religion however they wanted to interpret. So comes Imam Abu Hanifa, and then comes Imam Malik, then comes Imam Shafi'i, then comes Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, right? And they come and they formulate, right? They write down, right, usul al-din, usul al-fiqh. They write down how is fiqh, right, to be, how is a sharia, and they are, like you would say, the wadi', right, of the knowledge of fiqh, like of sharia. They are the ones who put it down, like with in the shurut, with the principles, with the ways, istinbat, right, how to pull out the rulings and so on and so forth. Fahimtum? Right, naam. It's important for us to understand, because we are coming to Habib Abu Bakr al-Adani, to understand who is Habib Abu Bakr al-Adani. He is also one of the mujaddidun of our zaman. Right? He is one of the mujaddidun of our zaman. Inshallah, we will speak about it later on. Inshallah. Tamam. Just one question. This is like I don't know whether I should put it in my class, but or not. Right? But I want to just ask you all, right? Of all the four imams, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, why is it that the ulama identify Imam al-Shafi'i to be the mujaddid? Right? Why not any of the other three? Who knows the answer? It's I think I mentioned in one of my classes for the English Daura. In your classes, I mentioned to one of you. Was it you all? I did, right? See, did I mention it in the class? Naam, yes. No, his nasab is related but not from. Tamam? Is related from, not from, he's al-Muttalibi. Right? So it's al-Muttalibi from Bani al-Muttalib. Naam, from Bani Muttalib. That's one thing. There's actually a stronger reason. There's a stronger reason why Imam Shafi'i is identified as the Mujaddid. There's a stronger reason. It's from a nas. Right? What is the nas? There is a nas. Anybody knows? There's a nas about Imam al-Shafi'i. This nas is mentioned by Habib Abu Bakr al-Adani in Fiqh Tahawulat several times. He mentions this nas in hadith, bima'na hadith. There's a hadith about Imam al-Shafi'i. Anybody knows about a hadith whereby the ulama identify that the person Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, na'am, sahih, that the person that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was speaking about, and it is an akhbar al-istibaqi, right? Al-istibaqi, that means it's called prophecy. Prophecy is basically things that a prophet says about the future. That's called prophecy. In English, is a word. I say, it's a prophecy. That means it's something I see about the future, or no, I mean a prophet says about the future, and it will happen. It will happen. And there is a hadith about Imam Shafi'i. There is a hadith about Imam Shafi'i. You can see it. It is being quoted there, right? That there will be, an alim of the Quraysh. Alim of the Quraysh. And amongst the four, Imam Shafi'i is Qurayshi. Right? He's from the Quraysh. Right? An alim of the Quraysh who would fill who will fill in one narration the easts and the wests of this earth with knowledge. Another narration, as you can see here, fill the levels of the earth, right, with knowledge, right? So, and they identified this with Imam Ash-Shafi'i. He was said Imam Ahmad is from Nizar. Right? Nizar is the ancestor of Rasulullah, but that is before Fihr. Right? Fihr is the Qurayshi. Right? From Fihr onwards is Qurayshi. Yeah? And as you all, inshallah, as you go into Sirah and everything, you will learn all of this stuff, inshallah. Okay, that's number 3. So this is why the scholars say that Imam Shafi'i was identified as the Mujaddid because there is a naqs about him. There is a hadith about him. Mashallah. Okay. And then on the fourth century, right, there is also another khilaf, right, Abu Bakr al-Baqalani al-Maliki, right, or Abu Hamid uh, or Abu Hamid al-Sfarani al-Shafi'i. And then the fifth Qarn, right, the fifth what's it in English, century. The 5th century is Imam al-Ghazali, Abu Hamid al-Ghazali. Okay, at Imam al-Ghazali, now comes the kalam from Imam al-Haddad. The clue of this from the Tamah, right? Imam al-Haddad says, right, and he actually quotes, I think he quotes one of the Imams, right, on this opinion, Imam Suyuti. Now he quotes Imam Suyuti on this opinion that after the 5th century, right, Imam Suyuti has the opinion that it's not one mujaddid, but however, it is al-mujaddidun. Tamam? Al-mujaddidun. Okay, right, so it's not one mujaddid, but it is al-mujaddidun, right, which means that you have a group of people who will renew the religion on what it was on. Right, so a group of people who will renew the religion on what it was on. Naam. Right, and why is it so? So Imam Suyuti says, right, why is it so? First and foremost, the ummah is getting weaker, right, because of the weakness of the ummah. Secondly, the ummah is spreading far and wide, right? Spreading far and wide. Thirdly, he says, right, from the language of the hadith, it does not deny that there could be a group of them. So it's not necessarily as one of them only, right, but there could be a group of them from the Arabic. In the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he says that it brings min haythul lafaz wal ma'na. Min haythul lafaz wal ma'na, that it could be a group of mujaddidin, right? A group of renewers of this religion. Tamam. So understand that, Okay, we're going to move into Habib Abu Bakr al-Adani. So Habib Bakr al-Adani, he is identified as a mujaddid, right, because he actually fulfills, right, the shuruts. The scholars do discuss what are the shuruts of the mujaddid, and why is it that we must identify who is the mujaddid? Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and all of this kalam, right, is from Habib Bakr al-Adani. It's from him. Like, he actually explains this entire kalam. Like, why? Because the entire hadith about the mujaddid, entire hadith about the mujaddid, that is man yujaddid hadha din, the one who will renew this religion, that hadith is a bushra, is good news from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right, in his zaman, he gave us in our zaman, right, warnings, and he gave us good news. There's 2, because there will be people who will be saved from this fitna. Right? If there was not going to be anybody who's going to be saved, then for what we learn all these things? Khalas, we all any halak, any in fitna, we're all going to be destroyed. We're akhir zaman. It's just nar for akhir zaman. Wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah. No. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like, he gave us, he told us there will be people who will be saved. There will be. And that is raja. That is hope. That you come, when you come to the zaman, into this zaman, you look around you, and you see la hawla wala quwwata illa billah, akhir zaman, and you're like, it's just fitna everywhere. There's so much fasad, there's so much corruption, there's so much sins. It's just, and you have you have despair. Like, it's useless trying. It's useless trying to da'wah. It's useless trying to say anything good. It's useless. Some people have that attitude. That's wrong. That's wrong. Right? Why? Because our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told us there is hope. There is hope. Right? And there will be a ta'ifa. There will be a group of people who will always be on what he is on. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And in the hadith of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he says, لا يزال طائفة لا يزال طائفة من أمتي ظاهرين على الحق لا يضرهم من خذلهم حتى يأتي أمر الله وهم على ذلك. It's another bushra. It's also a bushra from Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It's all good news. He says that there will always be a group of people from my ummah. It's also Dawah Tamah. It's all in Dawah Tamah. Imam Al-Haddad speaks about it. Imam Al-Haddad himself is a mujaddid. He writes about the mujaddid, and he is a mujaddid. In Imam Al-Haddad, mashallah. But in his zaman, there were several. Okay, there was a group of mujaddidun in his zaman. So he's not like the only one in his zaman who's a mujaddid. Right? There were several of them who are mujaddidun. He speaks about it, Imam Al-Haddad. Now, so he says that there will always be a group of people in my ummah who will show ظاهرين على الحق. They will show, they will manifest, they will proclaim, they are not scared. They are not scared. They will say it. They will say what is shar. They will say what is wrong. They will say what is dalala. Even if the whole world goes against them, they don't care. They actually don't care. Right? And we must follow this path. We must be like that. Right? And it does not affect them. Right? People who abandon them. Right? Those who abandon them, they don't care if people turn away from them. They don't care people stop following them. They don't care they stop getting likes from people. They don't care. They don't care. Because why? They only care about haqq. And Abu Bakr Adani, he's one of them. Right? Until the matter of Allah comes, and they are like that. The matter of Allah here refers to not Yawmul Qiyamah, right? But the end of time, whereby there is a rih al-qabida, right? There is a rih, there is the wind that takes the souls of the believers. That happens at the end of time, right? And another hadith, and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "La yajidanna ibnu Maryam qawman min ummati hum misl hawarih." Right? Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that Nabi Isa, when he comes back onto the earth, the akhir zaman, he will find people from my ummah who are like the Hawariyeen. Right? Meaning, mashallah, which is why this is the nas that says they are like the Sahaba. They are like the Sahaba. And so Habib Adani, let me just go back to him, okay? I actually have a lot of slides about him, mashallah. And mashallah, mashallah. Then at Maghrib, it's almost Maghrib here in Tarim. So I'm gonna have to go through very quickly right now. Mashallah. So Habib Adani, right? Just there is a video online. You can find it. There is a video online, right, that speak about I think it was his nephew. It was nephew who was very close to him, right? And he narrated something that Habib told him before Habib passed away. So before Habib passed away, Habib you can find the video online. It's in Arabic. I think it's in Arabic. I'm not sure if it's translated, but it's in Arabic. You can find the video online. His nephew is after the death of Habib Abu Bakr Adani. Right? Habib he narrated that Habib Abu Bakr Adani told him when he was not well, when he was ill, Habib told him that he saw Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam yaqadatan, right? That means in awakened state. He saw Nabi Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It's not mustahil. A lot of them here in Hadramaut, like most like a daily affair, they see Nabi Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam all the time, and they are shocked that we don't. If they find out of anyone who has never seen Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, they're actually shocked. They're like, how could you never see him? You're not doing enough salawat. You're not doing enough, sunnahs. Why have you not seen him yet? And they're even more shocked, is what from the Hadramaut, okay, from Putarib, they're even more shocked when the people who are the Ahlul Bayt have not seen Nabi Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They're like, you're Ahlul Bayt, and you've not seen Nabi Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam yet? Right? They'll go in that way, mashallah. Do more salawats, inshallah. Inshallah, you'll see him, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Right. But anyway, Habib Adani, he saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a awakened state. And Rasulullah, this was the end of his life, It was the end of his life, rahimahullah ta'ala. And Rasulullah said to him, Ya Abu Bakr, anta khalifati fil ard. Oh, Abu Bakr. And mashallah, ka'annahu Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, صح? And it's like because it's Sayyidina Abu Bakr was the Khalifa. Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was the Khalifa. Right? But it's on the same name. They're on the same name. Say, oh Abu Bakr, you are my Khalifa on this earth. right? And that is like proof, that he is the Mujaddid. He's one of the many. There are many, right? Mujaddid of our time. Right. So let's read the slides because before Azan here in Darim, right? So he is Al Habib Abu Bakr Adani bin Ali Mashhur, whose lineage traces back to Sayyidina Imam Al Hussein, right? Because he's the Ba'alwi. He's from the Ba'alwi. And inshallah, one day I want to share what Habib Salma shares with us every single week about the Al Ba'alwi, right? The book she does is Al Fara'id Al Jawhariyah. نعم فرائد الجوهرية في ترجمة البعلوية right ما شاء الله أشراف البعلوية or Sadat البعلوية. Okay, that's the book that she does, right? Now from her father, it's a father's book, but inshallah one day you'll go through one by one who are these people. Today she went through Isa al-Rumi, right? Sayyidina Isa al-Rumi, who is the father of Muhajir. She went through the story of Sayyidina Isa al-Rumi, who had, by the way, 30 sons. He had 30 sons and 5 daughters. MashaAllah, these people, MashaAllah. They are Ahlul Bayt, MashaAllah. So anyway, so he goes with Sayyidina Hussein, right, the master of man, who was married to Sayyidina Fatima Zahra, the daughter of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was born in the town of Ahwar in the year 1366 after Hijrah, into the household of piety and learning. Right? So from the very beginning, he is of the righteous, and from the very beginning, and this is something that we notice about the Awliya of Hadramaut. Okay, not that نفخر هنا نعم نتفخر به ولكن like we're kind of like we always like kind of boast about it or we're proud about it, mashallah, because they are our teachers and they are our يعني the Sada Ba'alwi, and we are in the Dawra, so we're going to speak about the Al-Ba'alwi يعني فخرا بلا حرج. We're going to speak about the Al-Ba'alwi, we're going to be proud of them, and we're not going to care about anybody blaming us. Subhanallah, I'm just going to speak about them. The awliya of the Al-Ba'alawi, the awliya in the world, right? A lot of them, the stories, they begin with being sinful people, right? Many of the awliya in the world, right? The stories begin as them being sinful people. Then they make a full, sincere tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah raises them to become a wali. I mean, awliya illahi ta'ala, right? For example, Sayyidina Malik bin Dinar, right? Sayyidina Ibrahim bin Adham, right? Sayyidina Fudail bin Iyad, right? So all of the awliya, like they had a life of sin before that. Then they made a full tawbah wa taraqi, right? And they rise in levels and they become awliya. The awliya of Hadramaut, oh ya Allah, all of them, you see, all of them were on piety from day one, right? From day one of their life. They are on piety, they are righteous, on taqwa, on ibadah. Imam al-Haddad, 200 rak'ats every day, right? And Mijib Ba'alwi, for duha, all of them were righteous from the beginning. You will not find any of the awliya in Hadramaut that had a life of sin before becoming a wali. And they were awliya from the beginning. No, there's something that any for me it's a mashallah fakhr. And mashallah, to be like them, inshallah, we already had our life of sin, that already had our ma'asiyah, that we have done. So he was born in the town of Ahwar in the year of 1366 after Hijrah, into the house of piety and learning. Al-Habib memorized the Quran in his young age, studied with numerous scholars in Hadramaut, right? And he was very smart. There are stories about his intellect. He's very smart. Habib Abu Bakr Adani. هذا من الله تعالى. It is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like Imam Ghazali. Imam Ghazali had a life of this from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam Ghazali, at the beginning of his life, he was far from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even though he was on knowledge and talibul ilm and he was somebody who was very high in his knowledge, but he was far from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because he was doing it for fame. He was doing it for position, jah. He wanted fame and position. That was what he was doing it for. Then he made a full tawbah about it, and he came and became of the greatest scholars. But Allah gave him an intellect. Allah gave Imam Ghazali an intellect, and Allah gave Habib al-Adani an intellect. And I'll tell you one thing: the best intellects in this creation, Allah gave to the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right. So after the Anbiya, after the prophets, and they have Fatana. right? They have fatana, they are very smart people, right? Very intelligent, highly intelligent human beings. Allah gave them, right? Allah will not give kufr intellect. Allah will not. So sometimes, even Muslims, they admire, Albert Einstein, they admire, Newton, they admire all these scientists out there. You know what? Those who have kufr in them, they don't have intellect like the way our ulama have intellect. Oh, like if you look at the likes of Imam Shafi'i, likes of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, likes of Imam Ghazali, Habib Bakr Adani. You compare any one of them right now to the greatest scientists in the non-Muslim world, right? The science are like children at the feet of this great ulama. Allah will definitely give the best intellect to his awliya, to his ulama, subhanahu wa ta'ala, of this ummah. MashaAllah. Right. So Habib, we will end at 6:30, inshallah. Now Habib memorized 6:30 in Tarime, while you all in Singapore, 11:30. Right. Habib memorized the Quran in his youth, and he studied hard with numerous scholars. There was a story about Habib Bakr Adani, whereby he was once traveling, right, and there were some people, who were playing chess. You know what was chess, right? I don't know what's in Malay, but chess. They was playing chess, and Habib Bakr Adani, he would beat everyone in a matter of seconds. He would beat everyone. That he could just he beats them, he beats them. So I think if they join any competition that is intellectual, they would definitely be the first one to win. But it's all dunya, they don't care. They're not interested in all these things. They memorize Quran very quickly. They are the scholars of Hadramaut. In his youth, he already began preaching and inviting people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Habib recalls his father would ask him to prepare a script for the fiery sermon and read to him before stepping on the podium on the mimbar, right, to give the sermon. So from a very young age, there are people who are elected already. So all the signs of a mujaddid. So all signs of a mujaddid. If the story of Imam Abu Hanifa, or since he was a boy, he was someone who was so intellectual, right? So all signs of the mujaddidun, all of them in the stories, in the names that I mentioned just now, every single one of them, they were very intellectual as children. Right? Imam Ash'ari, he was raised amongst the Mu'tazila, and they had hope in him to be of the great scholars of the Mu'tazila. And he was so clever that he wrote them, that he actually, put them down and showed all the flaws in their aqidah. He was that clever, mashallah. Imam Al-Ash'ari. Okay, tamam. Inshallah, stop there. Just continue kita. Okay, continue a bit, Just continue a bit until 6:30, okay? Al-Habib Abu Bakr described his father as the most influential person in his development. His father placed much importance on the education and the spiritual development of his family. Right? From his father's actions and lectures, he learned the meaning and purpose of life. And a lot of them, right, the tarbiyah is from the parents, right? Is a father, figure, right? Or a mother. A lot of those who are orphans, right, is a mother, right? So it's really, the tarbiyah, right, and the nurturing, and the sanad is really father to child, and that is one of the khususiyah of the Ba'alawi. That's one of the specialties of the Ba'alawi, that their sanad is also bidam, right? The sanad, right, is by blood as well. So the sanad of knowledge being passed down all the way from Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is also blood. Blood being passed down, it means lineage, nasab. Okay. Right. Al-Habib recalls that he used to see his father weeping in the middle of the night as he read the Quran and made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Besides learning with spiritual scholars, Habib Qur'ani also attended formal schools and graduated with a degree in education from the University of Aden. And inshallah, tomorrow I will speak about what made him change his path. In a sense, he is on the right path, mashallah. He was trained by his father and trained by scholars who were traditional. Shirawan Bhuti also has a similar background. Shirawan Bhuti, mashallah, they have a similar background. At the same time, they will take from the schools that are like for the public. They will take from there, but that is not their training. So when you look at Habib Bakr Adani, what is his training? His father and all the traditional ulama around him in the halaqat, in the masajid. The university is by the side. That is not the main education for Habib Bakr Adani. It is not at all the main education for Habib Bakr Adani. He will speak about it on about his life and what happened. And he actually really, really wanted to go to Al-Azhar. There's a story about him. He really, in his dream, to go to Al-Azhar and study in Al-Azhar. But before he went to Al-Azhar, his father said to him, go to Habib Abdul Qadir as-Sagaf and ask for his opinion about going to Al-Azhar. And I'm not blaming Al-Azhar. I know a lot of people here are from Al-Azhar, a lot of our ulama are from Al-Azhar, right? But not blaming, right? But his father said to him, go to Habib Abdul Qadir al-Sagaf, right? And ask him about his opinion. Tomorrow, I will continue this story. Okay? So for us to understand who is this mujaddid, who is this wadi' of ilm tahawulat, right? So we can understand the importance and also this that this knowledge is sahih, right? The validity of this knowledge, it is not yani a bid'ah, it is not something that is wrong, it's not something that is going out of the millah, it's not something that's going out of the no, it is part of our religion. In fact, we need it so desperately in our zaman. Okay, so inshallah tomorrow we're continuing from there. I hope that was beneficial, inshallah. I am not taking questions because of the pre-maghrib. But I guess inshallah. Naam, okay, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. All right, so okay, no questions there. We'll end here for today, inshallah. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة. أن الله يرزقنا منافع وعملا خاصا ودل الهدى والسر بقبل سلم روحي وعلم الشيخنا وذلك العين إلى حفظ السلم. الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر. MashaAllah. Tonight we have a Dawara class at Habib, if Habib Omar in Habib house. Inshallah, min al-hadirat. We will just bring all of you with us to Habib house. Okay, now we're going to pray Maghrib and we're going to go to Habib's house. You all imagine, okay? You all at the Tarim, you imagine you're in Tarim and you just got the message, you dars Habib Omar tonight. Right? She's going to teach Suratul Muqarrabin. Right, so imagine that. Okay, so we're going to pray Maghrib now quickly. Girls, all the banat here, going to pray Maghrib. And you're going to go on the bus, you're going to go to Habib's house and sit in his house and hear him teach Suratul Muqarrabin. MashaAllah. Thank you. Barakallahu fikum. MashaAllah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.